Yana Martens about how to look and feel great on camera. Yana's expertise is basically a perfect balance of understanding the practical skills you need to look great on camera, as well as being able to overcome any of those emotional blocks that you might have. So Yana has a degree in psychology and has spent years in front and behind the camera as a model and photographer. In this session, she will be talking about, the practical things that you need. So lighting, background, equipment, please don't use me as an example, how to look your best. So, what might be the right outfits, best camera angles, and of course the importance of nonverbal communication. So those facial expressions, hand movements, and then the psychology of trust and credibility. Once again, thank you to all the attendees who've just joined us. I'm going to hand it over to Yana now and can't wait to hear her expertise. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Kate, for introduction, and thank you for this opportunity to run this webinar for Victory officers. I can see a few familiar faces here in the attendees. Hi to everyone. I do encourage you to be as interactive as possible because this webinar is it's all about questions and answers. Unfortunately, I can't see because your videos are not on, but that's fine. Just please make sure you write as many questions in the chat box as you have. So I do gonna go through some sort of structure, the points that I want to talk about, but it's we don't need to go with this rigid structure. I'm not going to do any slides or anything. It's all about this interaction. So I want to make it as interactive as possible for you. And that's why, please, as soon as you have any question, just pop it into the comments. So the topic today is how to look good and feel good in front of the camera. And so why are we talking about this today? Why video? Why everyone talking about videos? Why it's so important? Do you really need to do those videos? I actually would like Kate to pop up the poll, if you can. Yep, perfect. So I want to ask you questions. Why are you here today? So why do you want to create this positive impact in front of the camera? Do you want to run some online webinars and Zoom sessions? Do you want to film maybe your own online course, or you want to create more videos for your social media content, put the videos on LinkedIn and so on? So if you can please pop your answers so we can see who's what sort of purposes everyone have. So yeah, please choose your option, or if there is no option, if you have another reason, put it in the comments as well. Okay. Coaching and training, Michael saying, to remote leaders. Also, if you're saying about coaching and training, would you do this coaching live as through Zoom calls and actually interacting live with the person you're coaching, or is it pre-recorded sessions? Yeah, I guess the second option is a film online course if it's a pre-recorded sessions, or you just want to interact with someone live. So pick some answers. Let's see what's results. I can't actually see if everyone voted or not. I think Kate can see it, so Kate can show us the results on that one.
So far we have a lot of people saying that they're interested in running online webinars and Zoom sessions, and then creating video content for social media. Not a lot of people that who are that interested in filming an online course, but definitely those webinars, I think that those day-to-day meetings, and then creating content for social media.
Perfect. Okay, great. And yeah, Michael saying live and pre-recorded courses, so both. Okay, cool. So let's get into it. So why video? Yeah, so many business relationships these days happen online, especially now with isolation. A lot of these connections happen online. And even the connections that you probably might notice, that even these connections that you have face to face often started digitally, started online. definitely a lot of my connections started from LinkedIn, and then I took them online to some network events and so on. And it doesn't matter if the relationship built face-to-face or online, they still build on the same principles and, you know, credibility, trust, and likability. And the trick is to remember then all basic communication skills that you use in face-to-face communication. Then you go to network event and so on. You can actually transfer all these communication skills online. And video is the most powerful communication tool where you can actually build this trust and engagement in the online world and attract these customers to grow your business. So engaging video content helps you to build, you know, audience that they will feel like they know and trust you, even without actually meeting you face to face. And that's the whole idea. So it helps you to attract clients and provide this like warm introduction to more direct connections, you know, then someone introduced you on LinkedIn to their connections and so on. So you build your network this way. So remember, video, it's not about now video is not about this you know, self-promoting concept or you know, movies or I don't know, TV commercials. Video these days is a powerful communication tool that everyone needs to somehow, you know, incorporate in your online strategy. So I'm not saying that you have to do only videos, yeah, but you need to make sure that video make a part of your overall strategy. And especially now as well, with like the whole isolation as well, it's obviously that your clients will be more willing to interact through the video. They will be more willing to interact through the Zoom calls and attend the webinars because people embrace the technology these days. And the idea is how you can still engage with your audience than you in the online world. How you can make the webinar interactive, how you can make sure that on the Zoom call, your clients actually build this right perception about yourself, about you. So because we need to think, how do we want to be perceived and be in front of the camera? So, and I want to also ask you, this week, or maybe not this week, during the last month, have you seen some video online or maybe met someone in a Zoom call and you had this like a bit of a strange impression? You look at the video and like why? Like why did you sit in your pajamas with your cat, I don't know, with your washing on the background or something like this? Have you come across something like this last month? Anyone want to give any example of meeting someone last month with the yes?
Hi, all right. So hi, Wendy
Yeah.
Dawson from Victory Offices. Anybody, you know, is asking for opinion, I've got plenty to share. Yes, I was on a Zoom call a couple of weeks ago, and I just, you know, I'm really mindful that you're inviting people into a space, and that space is actually a reflection, and it's an extension of your brand. So it's no coincidence that I've tried in the best I can, you know, in this empty office to make sure I've got a lovely painting behind me and lovely lighting. But it came on the Zoom call, the individual connected, and she got up and went to the kitchen to finish making her cuppa. And you're kind of looking around and it's in the disarray, and it's the, you know, the laundry on the ground. It's the, you know, and it's just, you know, she came back and I kind of went, like, on one hand, I kind of go, don't be so judgy, because she was actually in the moment. She was present. She was engaged to be involved with whatever we were doing. But the other side of me kind of went, you know, be very careful about who you share that with, because even though we might be working in unprecedented times and then, you know, and from home, that doesn't equate into unprofessional or not keeping to that same standard. So yes, I absolutely have experienced that, Yana.
And it's a really good point, because the point is, we all know, don't judge the book by its cover. Yeah, we've been told it so many times. But we, in the same time, we can't help to make this first impression about someone. And on the video call, this first impression will be also your background and your lighting and everything that people will see on the screen. So, you know, as much as we want to say, you know, we don't want to be judgmental and so on, we still will make some assumptions about person personality based on what we'll see on the screen first. Specifically, if we haven't met this person before in the real life, I think we can be more forgiving, you know, if it's our face-to-face connections and we get on the Zoom, you know, with our friends and so on. So we're more forgiving, you know, we're like, you know, I know this person anyway. But if you met someone that you never interacted before and you get on a Zoom call with them, and as you describe, it's all like cup of coffee and washing, we tend to make some assumptions. And I think that's something that's really important to keep in mind. Then you're jumping on these Zoom calls. Who you actually like, who you're gonna interact with? Is this person already know some information about you, and how do you want this person to perceive you? Do you want to say some example, Kate, as well? Or?
Well, I just have some examples from some of our attendees. So Michelle has said that someone had an unmade bed.
That was just once. No.
And then I also have, I feel awkward on video calls. Please personalize connection requests if someone wants to connect, so everyone knows where they're coming from, which is actually a really great point. And then I have one from Michael that I don't even know if I want to read out loud. But he's just said, I once saw a guy on a multi-participant call who obviously did not remember people can see him and proceeded to go into his bathroom. And they all got to continue listening as he fill in the blank. I'll let you just all fill in the blank there. All right, well, that's it from me, guys.
Here we go, great example there. So yeah, and again, we all need to remember, we do create some sort of perception that we interact, we do make some judgment and assumption and interact people online. And we need to remember that it's a little bit different from the real life, because people see only what they see on the screen. And here it depends, you know, what you mute or what you unmute. In this case, what you didn't unmute. And so that's why we need to think, how do we want to be perceived? It's same as kind of going to the network event and keeping in mind how do you want people at this network event to perceive you, and staying relevant as well. So it's really important to, you know, that you're relevant to the audience you're gonna communicate. So the second question I want to ask you, and I think we already have one comment there about feeling awkward on the video calls. I want to ask you guys, and if Kate can bring this another poll up, that will be great. How do you feel in front of the camera? Yes. So you love being in front of the camera? You hate being in front of the camera? Or like, it's okay. It's okay. Do we have, here we go. That's the results from previous one. Let's get the poll running. And if you have any other something in between, not okay, not love it, not hate it, you can also put it in the chat box as well. Yep, do you like being in front of the camera? I love it, it's okay, I hate it, absolutely hate it. So let's see who's here with us and what they think. And also, guys, so while you're voting, I would like, especially people who answer hate being in front of the camera, can you please put a comment below why? Yeah. So why do you hate it? Michael there, hate it, but getting used to it. Okay. I find it easy enough to communicate in real time, but not to tape and video with materials. I hate it because I see and hear myself. Great example, Michael. Okay, so I'm gonna address a few of your objections here. So you keep putting your, keep putting your objections in why you hate it, and I'm gonna go one by one. So the really common one, and I think Michael already kind of pointed it out, so that he hated it, but fun enough getting used to it. So that's a really, really common reason why people don't like to be in front of camera. The simplest one, yeah. So we go to the simplest one. The simplest one is just because we're not used to it, yeah. It's a really, you know, simple analogy. You can be overall really confident person, but you might be not confident doing a particular task, yeah. And if you haven't been in front of the camera long enough, and you might not feel, you know, it's feel unusual, yeah. It's unusual, and every time you're doing something unusual, something unfamiliar, we feel uncomfortable. So obviously, as more you being in front of the camera, is more comfortable you became in front of the camera, is more you like it. So really simple example, you know, practice makes a difference, and as more you do any activity, is more comfortable you are doing it. So then another thing that you guys mentioned in the comments, because you don't like see and hear myself. Similar thing here. Not that many people. I haven't met one person in my life yet who would say, I love hearing my recorded voice. Yeah. So for the first time you hear your recorded voice, you feel, oh my God, do I really sound like that? That's usually, you know, the first reaction of the majority of people. And the thing is, then we're not used to hearing your own voice from outside. It does actually sound different than you inside yourself and hear your voice, and then you are actually listening to from outside. And again, it's unfamiliar, and everything that unfamiliar feel uncomfortable. There is actually a scientific name for it. It's called me exposure. Me exposure, it's a psychological phenomenon that we like something that we're more familiar with. It's a really simple, as more familiar with something, as more we like it. And you can see it everywhere in life. That's why we have, you know, discrimination, racism, and all these things, because we tend to like things we're familiar with. And it's related to the sounds, food, anything, you know. That's why I don't eat Vegemite. And some people probably love Vegemite, yeah. So it's related to a lot of things in life. That's why don't expect that you absolutely would love your recorded voice for the first time, because it sounds unfamiliar and you need to get used to it. And same as watching yourself on the camera, similar principle. Why you don't like watching yourself? Because it's unfamiliar. You're not used to see yourself from another side. The only time you see yourself from another side, it's in the mirror. And here's a question for you guys. Then you look at yourself in the mirror. What do you usually say to yourself? Often we go to the mirror, just, you know, check something, and, you know, check your hair or something, and, you know, we need to fix something. Yeah, that's why we go to the mirror. So when you're looking at yourself in the camera, that's where same principles, the same negative self-talk kick out, because you start picking on the things you would like to fix. Yeah, you would like to fix the hair, you would like to fix that, you would like, I don't know, oh, here's the pimple that I haven't seen before. Yes, so the negative self-talk kicked out, and you see yourself and you start finding all this stuff that you don't like about yourself. Really good exercise, go to a mirror and tell yourself a compliment. Works really well, yes? So if you start actually having a more positive conversation with yourself in the mirror, you will get more used to yourself on the video as well. So you stop having this negative talk with yourself, like, oh my God, like, why do I look like this, and so on. And, you know, the common objection, people say to me like, oh, I just have a face for the radio. Come on, guys, then you go to the network event. Do you put a plastic bag around your face so no one see your face? Same with the video. You do go and network with people, you do communicate with other people, you just, you know, you just don't really think as much how you look. So same principles. So Catherine's saying, I think I look different in the mirror to when I see myself on video photo. 100%, Catherine, because in the video, it's flipped, yeah? So in the camera, in the window, in the mirror, you see reflection of yourself. On the video, you see flipped image, yeah? You see how others see you. And that's feel uncomfortable as well, because to the same principles, me exposure, because it's unfamiliar, yes? So, and that's the reason people don't like photos of themselves as well. And if you ever try to take a picture of yourself and flip it, you will have a really interesting experience, because even if the picture looks quite symmetrical, then you flip it on your phone, you realize that none of us have asymmetrical faces. And because we all have a symmetrical face, on camera, on the photo, you see it on another side, and it's again feels unfamiliar, feels, you know, feels a bit, this like, you feel this like kind of resistance, like, oh my god, like, do I really look like that again? I definitely can say, as more photos and videos of yourself you have, as more you like it. So even if it feels uncomfortable, watch yourself back. Watch yourself back, because you will learn more about yourself, and it will make you feel more comfortable being in front of the camera and being on the video. So what was the other, here we go. It's, I feel I'm not photogenic. Good point. So photogenic is a skill. Yeah. So being photogenic is a skill, and as any skill, it comes with practice. So there is certain tips and tricks how to be more photogenic, so how to look better on camera. And that's few tips that we're gonna actually cover today. So remember that being photogenic, it's not a genetic predisposition, that's a skill. And as any skill, it can be trained. And make sure you change it in your mind, because again, we're coming back to the same objections about, oh, like, who gonna look at me and things like this. Was there any other objections there? It's easy enough to communicate in real time, but on a tape, a video with materials, not as comfortable. I'll tell you the reason, Michael, why is that as well. So then we communicating in the real life with the people, we get immediate feedback. I met a lot of people who can be really confident speakers, and they feel really comfortable talking in front of the audience, talking in front of, you know, thousands of people, but you put a camera in front of them and they're gone. The reason for it usually is a lack of immediate feedback. Then we presenting in front of the audience, we get a constant feedback, and we kind of can adjust, we exchange the energy with our people, and it keeps us going. When we talk to the camera, there is not that much feedback, you know, and you're talking with yourself, and you have to kind of give yourself this positive reinforcement and laugh at your own jokes and keep going. Otherwise, your energy just will drop. That's why I often, I think, start with the short videos. If you start filming, start with short videos, till you have this energy before this negative talk will kick in your mind. It can be even like more challenging in webinars like this. For example, on this webinar, I can't see you. So it's actually easier for me to run the webinar than I see people, other people in the videos, because I can read your feedback. So in this case, because I'm kind of talking to myself at the moment, yeah, just staring through the camera and talking to myself, and I'm hoping that I do get some sort of impact on you, and you actually listening to me, but I can only assume it. And I'm at the moment assuming that you all listening and excited about my webinar. Otherwise, if I want give myself this positive reinforcement, I start feel awkward, and I start like, oh my God, is anyone listening? What's going on? So, okay, I think we did address a few objections there. And what else? Self-conscious, don't like seeing myself on camera. I guess we just mentioned that. So, okay, if you do have any other objections, pop in. You know, don't be shy, like anything that comes to your mind. I love challenging questions. So let's think about few tips, how actually make this positive impact in front of the camera. So where do you start? So when you're creating content, with the creating content, it's all about relevance, being relevant and understanding your audience. Because there is no point trying to create like content or like, you know, that everyone will like. You really need to understand who is your audience and how do you want to be perceived by this audience? You know, who you will be talking to. How do you want to make your audience feel? So have it all in mind when you're creating your content. And the video content obviously is more powerful because it's less open for interpretation. You know, then you write a post or you have like a written content, people can read it differently because how people will perceive this written content will depend on their emotional state as well. You know, how often do you get like message, do you get SMS, and because you, I don't know, in some sort of situation, you read it this way, and then next day you read the same SMS and you realize it was a completely different message. How many times, you know, you have like useless fight through the text messages, then, you know, in the conversation, you realize that person didn't even mean to say this at all. So that's why video is so powerful, because you have all these advantages of nonverbal communication, of your intonation, you know, your voice and so on. And you can show that you're confident, you can show that you're passionate about something. You can really communicate your message more clearly. And that's why, again, like, understand your audience, being relevant, and you know what sort of message to communicate. So now let's go to a bit more practical part. So then you then you're getting ready for your call or to film the video. So what do you need to think about? Just a quick little tips, really simple tips. If you're filming it on your phone, make sure put your phone just on an airplane mode. Yes, how often you're filming something and someone call you at that time? Yeah, so you don't want someone calling you at that time, just destroy your, you know, best take on the video. Or same, if you're talking on the video call, just make sure your phone on silence, because all these noises will, you know, will destroy your video. So then make sure you don't, like, if you're on the video call, you don't get caught setting up. When you're ready for your video call, you already need to have, you know, your background and lighting and everything set, and you click join with audio on this Zoom, like join with video to this Zoom call. It's not like you still, you know, getting a cup of coffee or walking around and, you know, picking up your washing. Yeah, you're ready. You're ready. That's the first impression. You know, people will see you in the screen, that there will be first impression. So make sure you ready straight away. Then what do you need? What kind of setup you need? If you just, you know, on the call like this, I always advise everyone, make sure then your camera is on the eye level. Yeah, because what we want to concentrate on, we want to make sure then you relate again to your audience, and you want to engage to your audience. So how many calls, Zoom calls this week you had, then someone had their laptop just somewhere down on the desk, and you keep looking up to people's nostrils? Come on, how many people saw this this week? Whoever is still on, whoever is still here, here we go, Michael's here, perfect. Yeah, so not the best look, not the most flattering, not the most flattering angle for a lot of people. And plus, then you're doing this, you look more dominant. I guess it really depends what you're trying to achieve in this video, but this way, you do look more dominant as well. So, and vice versa, if you put your camera too high, this is like more like a submissive look. So it might work for some content, but, you know, it really depends what you're going for. That's why I always say, try to keep your camera on eye level. So there's quite a few people saying, yeah, too many times to count, lots of nostrils. Yes, lots of people, and they constantly move around. Here we go. So I know sometimes, you know, we get caught on a Zoom call and your laptop is still on, things like this. But you can put, like, I simply put some boxes or books under my laptop, so I elevate it, so I'm making sure it's on my eye level. then I'm filming on the phone. It's obviously easier. Just using, I just have this like little tripod. I bought it for like $15 on eBay. Again, you don't need to spend like thousands of dollars on any equipment. Go to eBay, everything is there. So so make sure, simple, your camera on eye level. And then look at your lighting and the background. So with the lighting, we're not trying to create a movie set here. Yeah, I'm just giving you really quick tips that you can use straight away. Of course, you can go like next level every time. No one stop you to go next level than you creating your videos. You know, like, but simple thing. I always advise, really simple thing. Make sure you face the source of the light. Just instead of overthinking about the lighting, yeah, if you have a window in your office, that's the best option. Face the window. Because what we want to do, we want to make sure you have a soft, natural, you know, light on your face, because your face is the most important part of videos, because people will be reading your facial expression, nonverbal cues. So make sure majority of the light comes straight into your face. Be really careful with all these ceiling lights in the offices, because they create the shadows under the eyes. So the best option is make sure you facing the light. I actually give you a quick demo. So if I'll just turn around here. Yep, there you go. Beautiful, yeah? So if I'm just standing in front of my window, but I mean, facing away, you can't see my face. Do you want to talk with me? Like, you no idea. Like, do you want to trust me? Like, do you want to actually engage with my conversation? I don't think so. So really simple thing. Instead of like, you know, overthinking about some sort of lighting options, just make sure, I'm coming back to my designated spot, make sure you face the source of the light. Don't have a window? Do use some artificial lighting. Again, you can go and invest in the professional lighting if you want, or here's my little friend. Just grab any lamp you have at home, put a piece of paper to diffuse the light. Here's your mini softbox. Just put it in front of you on your computer. Again, yeah, make sure the light coming, yep, in front of you. And it's a really, really common mistake that I see. People look for the background first instead of looking for the light. So the idea is find the source of the light first and then adjust the background. With the background, remember, background is your story, yeah? So background have usually two purposes: catch the attention and help you to communicate your message clearly. So it depends what sort of impression you want to create to the people that listening to you, you adjust your background. So I wouldn't say I have like the most amazing background here, but it works, yes? So it looks business-like. I have a bit of a color because, you know, I'm not that like crazy serious and stuff. So I want to have a bit of a more color on my background. And I also have a, you know, use the rule of thirds. So if you look at my background, I place my shelves on the thirds of my screen. So if you try to, you know, split your screen on 9 equal parts, you place all the elements on your background along these parts. I'm not gonna, you know, bore you with this. Don't overthink about it, but I think a quick tip here: if you go to your camera on whatever iPhone or Samsung, whatever you have, and you put the option of the grid lines, you can put the grid lines and it's split your screen on the 9 little squares, and then you're looking for the background. You're trying to place all the elements on your background along these lines. It's create a better composition. Richard saying you don't read, love. No, I don't read, Richard. I'm just talking to you. That's you know, just talking and talking. You know, you can ask me any question, I will keep talking. So here we go. Now I got distracted. So yeah, background. Make sure the background is, you know, telling your story and help you to communicate your message. So be careful with the colors as well. Again, like different colors can create different impression, but I think the most common thing to avoid it, don't blend in with your background. Yep. So that's why I make sure that whatever you're wearing kind of stand out from the background, at least a little bit. So don't wear like a white t-shirt and stand next to the white wall. Yeah, so as simple as it is. And with the outfits, few simple tips with the outfits. Avoid patterns. Camera doesn't like busy patterns, especially stripy, you know, stripy checked shorts, because they start, you know, flickering on the camera. So make sure no busy patterns. So use like bold colors. Usually blue, purple, green looks really good on camera. Be careful with the white and black, because of the depends of the exposure and lighting, they can be became gray. Then you filming video, I would always try to avoid wearing white and black, because if you decide to edit this video and change the colors, that they won't come up as good. So yeah, my advice, going for more like blue, purplish, green colors. But depends, obviously it depends on your personality as well. It depends what you're wearing in the normal, like real life as well, because you want to feel comfortable. The idea is, again, wearing something that camera likes, but also something that you would wear in the real life as well, because it's again, it's a part of your personality. So yeah, in generally, so you want something that contrasting your skin and complementing your eyes. So that's kind of the idea. So do you have any questions, guys, so far? You got like really quiet there for a moment. So before I'll go for a few more tips, anyone have any questions about lighting, background, or outfits? So far, so good. There you go. Thank you for the feedback. All good? Okay, cool. Just checking in, you know, make sure I'm not talking with crickets. Have nothing for the background in my house. Perfect, perfect comment, Michael. So everyone have a background, guys. It's just a matter to find it. And the little tip to look for the background, don't try to look for the background with your two eyes. Yeah, because when we're looking for something with our two eyes, we have this, you know, stereoscopic vision, and we see everything with two eyes. So if you need to find the background and you think there is no way I can find a good background in my office, my little home office, look through the camera. Yeah, so, you know, open your phone and start walking around and see what's in the frame. Yeah, what actually fit in the frame of your video. Because, like, you know, at the moment, if I'll move like this, you see my kitchen. Yeah, like what about if I'll talk to you like this? Do you like this background more? There you go, it's my trash, my kettle there. Yeah, so it's just these little changes that, you know, make a difference. Here we go, we go back here. I'm back in the office, not in the kitchen anymore. I live in the, you know, like a little 1-bedroom apartment where I need to set up like everything, background and kitchen and so on. So, and I definitely can find some options with the backgrounds and then film my videos. Look through the camera, not with your two eyes. What about green screen? Look, Michael, I'm not a fan of the green screens. I just, if you don't have any other option, yes, use green screen for sure. It's better to use green screen than have your laundry and washing on your background. It's my personal choice. I don't like green screens because, especially the standard one in Zoom, they look a bit awkward, and it's really hard if you, like for me, for example, I have a long blonde hair. Oh my God, because like half of the background will be on my hair, half not. If you bald, the green screen will work for you better. But play around with some, here you go. Play around with some green screens in Zoom. It might, some of them might work alright. So you need to make sure that you're against some sort of wall, at least at your house. So if you have a proper green screen as a bonus, because it's better your screen, as better your virtual background will look like. Yeah, I personally not a fan. I do like see real people backgrounds because it's give me a bit of more understanding about this person. So yeah, so I do like seeing real people's background, and yeah, I don't know, it's personal choice. Depends on you. What about Zoom backgrounds? Yeah, proper green. Yeah. So again, I'm not an expert on green screens. As I said, I do use them really rare. It just, and there's no other option, but I do prefer find something in my space that it's kind of relate more to my personality. So took photo of the normal background, then was tidy and presented. That's a really good point, Catherine. Yes, that's a really good point. Actually taking a picture of real background and put it in a green screen. Yes, really good point. Sometimes some rooms make a weird echo. If you have a weird echo, you use headphones. I don't use ooh, here you go, I smashed something. I don't use any headphones at the moment because it's pretty quiet, pretty quiet at my home. But often I just use a simple headphones from my phone. They do the job quite well. You can use them for the Zoom calls and so on. I do use them always if I'm streaming. If I'm doing live and streaming, I do use headphones because then you're streaming where it could be a delay with the audio, and audio quality is better. At the moment that I'm talking to you, I don't use the headphones just because there is no echo here, and it's I find it a little bit, I guess, more authentic because it feels like I'm just talking to you without any microphones or headphones. Sound quality is better with the headphones than just talking into your computer. Yeah, but then I'm filming on my phone. I don't use any headphones. Depends on your phone as well. If you have anything Model 7 and above, the quality of the sound and of the video is really good. Here we go. That's not Samsung advertising, okay? So Samsung is not paying me for that. But I have a Samsung S10 Plus. I'm really happy with the quality, and the video quality is great there. You can even use live focus that give you this depth of field. So it's actually blurred background, and it feels like a more professional video as well. And the sound quality is really good as well. The sound quality on this phone, I'm really happy. But again, I give you a quick option. Of course, you can go and buy the microphone, no problem at all. But come on, everything you can do, like if you're filming on your phone, you put your headphones into your phone, yeah, because you can obviously film audio through your headphones, and you don't even put the headphones on. You just can pretty much clip your headphones here somewhere, whatever, just pretending. Yeah, so, and the audio on your phone will be filmed through the headphones, so you can, you know, film the audio through here, and audio quality will be better, you know, especially if you're filming somewhere outside and not in a quiet room. So did I answer this question? Yes. Cool. So headphones. Okay. So keep popping questions. Very noisy housemates. Yes. Just film the video through the headphones and don't need to pick up any background noise. So, and I guess a few more points I want to make just about a bit of a nonverbal communication. One really common mistake is people not looking into the camera. Yeah, so all this time that I'm talking to you, I'm trying to look most of the time directly into my webcam. You know, sometimes I look at the screen, sometimes I check the comments, but majority of time then I'm presenting, I'm trying to look into the camera, because then it feels like I'm looking directly at you. It can be tricky sometimes, and it's a big Zoom session, there's a lot of people, you're trying to give attention to everyone, but try to make sure that you always gaze back into the camera, because then it feels like you're actually looking at the person. Because often we end up looking at ourselves on the screen, or at another person on the screen, and we're losing this connection. Sometimes people have like second monitor or something, and they're actually looking at you on the second monitor, and you feel like they're not engaged at all, because they're looking at the, you know, second monitor and maybe making some notes, but you feel disengaged because you can't see where they're looking to, and unless I tell you like, oh guys, I'm just gonna look to now a monitor and make a note, you feel like I'm not interested. Yeah, so it's like I'm just not even looking at you, I'm just talking, feels like I'm doing something else, doing my, I don't know, homework. So keeping this eye contact, then you filming the video, same story, because especially if you film on the selfie mode, we tend to look at ourselves on the screen, but the camera is on the side, remember? So, and if you film yourself on the selfie mode, but looking at yourself, not at the camera, then you look at the video, it will look like you're looking off to the side. So make sure you're trying to look directly into the camera as much as you can. What about in main content is on the second monitor for visibility process? Just again, like if you have a second monitor, just make sure you tell people where you're looking at. But then you're presenting content, look at the camera. Can you set up your monitors that, I don't know, one above another or something? So as much as you can, as your notes and anything can be as close to the camera as better, because that's where this engagement coming from, that this perception of you looking into the person. Does it make sense? I guess that was the question. Yeah, cool. So okay guys, so we already 10 minutes to 1. So one last thing I want to mention: smile. Sometimes over smile is increasing your face value. So make sure you smile at least in the beginning of your video, at least in the beginning of your Zoom call, to welcome your viewers. It's important, especially now when someone's scrolling through the timeline, look at the videos. No one wants to see grumpy faces. Even if you're going through the serious content, make sure you smile at least in the beginning of your video call or your video. So, yeah, so it's 10 to 1. Last 2 questions. If anyone has any more questions, last 2 questions. I'm just, or use a separate, yeah, so using the webcam. Yeah, Catherine, good point. Like, yeah, if you're trying to look at the monitor, how to fix, how long have you been in Zoom video or webinar to be so confident? Look, I've been doing modeling before, so I've been doing modeling probably like I started doing modeling probably 15 years ago, but then I was doing modeling, it was more about angles, obviously, expressions, and less about presenting. And I started presenting on video probably about 3 years ago, I would say. And mostly I've started, you know, with the filming small videos, doing Facebook Lives and so on. And also I've been doing a lot of public speaking, and I kind of incorporate all of my experience of being in front of the camera as a model, and then understanding psychology of the people and public speaking. And I combine all this knowledge to understand how do you actually want to present in front of the camera. If you get nervous in the middle of the speech, how to recover back? Do the pose, you know. I think it's really important to understand that often people in the video, then they forgot what they're doing, or, you know, they feel a bit nervous. They move too much. Yeah, so you start like looking around, like moving your hands, like hands movement can leak the truth big time, you know, if you're a bit nervous or something, and start like, you know, doing all this stuff or whatever. So learn how to make a pose. Yeah. We do it in the real life as well. You're not sure what to answer, you make the pose, you say like, okay, let me think about it. Again, look directly into the camera. The good pose can be really, really powerful. If you look at a lot of famous actors and the movies, they're great at making this, like, you know, right facial expression in the pose. And they don't even, you know, they don't even need to keep going sometimes. Yeah. So how to recover back? Start from the beginning of the sentence. Then you forgot. Just start from the beginning of the, make a pose and start from the beginning of the sentence. How do you feel when you do the first Zoom call? Is the question, how did I feel when I did my first Zoom call? Look, it's I feel great because by that time when I started doing Zoom calls, I've been filming so many videos. That's why it was so natural for me, because I've started actually filming videos of myself first. I guess, how did I feel? One of my first videos that I filmed probably would be something with some sort of casting, and filming it was okay. So I guess if you're talking about myself, what was my biggest objections was my accent, because I have a really strong Russian accent, and because I feel confident in front of the camera, but acting without talking into the camera, the big step for me is overcoming the fact that I make so many mistakes in my speech, and making so many mistakes, you know, in my English, in my grammar, and with my pronunciation. And that was a big step for me to overcome the fact that actually, yes, I do make mistakes, but people still understand me, and it's more about my content. I'm not trying to sell people English lessons. I'm talking about the psychology and the video and so on. So that probably was a big step for me to overcome it, and actually realize that my accent is an asset as well, because people remember me by my accent, you know, oh, that blonde Russian chick, blah, blah, blah. So, and it's make me more memorable as well. So make sure you try to tone these things that you think you're disadvantage, try to turn it into your advantages. You know, I still practice some pronunciation, and it doesn't mean that I just give up on my English whatsoever. I still, you know, like to improve it, and, you know, improve my vocabulary and so on. But it's something that doesn't need to, shouldn't, like, things like this shouldn't stop you to start. Yeah. So you always can improve as you go. Don't make this one thing that you, in your mind, that you think is people won't like, stop you, because you will improve. It's all about the process. And your first video will won't look great, and maybe your first Zoom call will be a little bit awkward. That's completely fine. You know, you don't if you can't swim, you won't expect that you just jump in the ocean and start swimming. Yes, so it's a gradual progression. Same with being in front of the camera. So make sure. Sorry, guys, it's my rat. So make sure you try to change all your negative thoughts into positive statements. Yeah. So once you start catching your negative thoughts and changing into the positive statements, some surprising things start happening in your life. Anyway, so on this big note, I'm going to stop this webinar.
Yana, thank you so much for joining Victory Officers. What you said was superb. I think it's exactly what we needed as well right now, as we're all tackling probably one too many Zoom meetings. Did you have anything, like any last words of advice or anything you wanted to end on?
Yeah, guys, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm 24/7 on LinkedIn at the moment. Please feel free to connect. I do daily live streams.
And once again, thank you so much, Yana, and I hope everyone has a fabulous day.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.